Hey CPC fans, it's your friend Choice CJ here, and this is the Week 6 installment of the Weekly MVP series. Normally, Striker Flash would be joining me for this series, but he is unfortunately under the weather. But we did have a chance to communicate about this week, and we think we picked out some pretty good All-Stars for you guys this week. Before we get into the MVP, let's quickly jump into some honorable mentions. Amoongus from the Emerald City Melodics had a really good showing this week. Amoongus was really instrumental in neutralizing a sort of funky Charizard X set. The Charizard received a +2 special attack, +2 SpDef boost from a Medicham, which is also pretty funky and pretty cool. But once the Charizard was paralyzed, Amoongus went for a Clear Smog, was able to eliminate that, or not eliminate, but neutralize that threat. And then in the late game, the Amoongus came in and cleaned up versus the collection of Manaphy, Heliolisk, and Donphan. So that was a really great Pokemon from the Emerald City Melodics. Audino from the Florida for Alligators was a really great bring this week. It got off really critical Thunder Waves on Pokemon like Gardevoir and Latios, and was able to just sponge hits all game, spam knocking off things like Choice Scarf on the Latios. Just very, very hard for the Dewford Drapions to deal with. The Dewford Drapions might have been able to take it out with something like Infernape, but Infernape did end up going down to the combination of Mega Absol and Tornadus. Also want to give a shout out to Drapion from the Sydney Sharpedos. This Mon, I don't think it got any kills this week, but it was really crazy how well it did. I recommend you guys go watch the match on Gypsy King's channel if you haven't already. It just put on so much pressure because it set up toxic spikes and also prevented hazards repeatedly from the Skarmory on the San Antonio Sparse. And the ability of Drapion to control that game and control the hazard war really whittled the San Antonio Sparse, and it set up the conditions for a really cool Kyurem Black sweep at the end, and led to just an overall dominating 6-0 victory. So even though Kyurem is the kill getter in that game, I think the real all-star, the one that really contributed the most to that win was the Drapion. And then last but not least of the honorable mentions, I have to mention this Pokemon, and it would have been the MVP if not for the other Mon that we ended up choosing, and that is Mega Venusaur. Mega Venusaur got a clean 5 kills, with a really awesome Curse Rest set, and was able to get literally 5 kills, and it's kind of the perfect whirlwind of conditions. The whole game, the Brisbane Breloons were sort of lagging behind to the Reshurams, and the Venusaur came in on a Seismitoad, was able to get up a Curse. The Thundurus Incarnate that came in was actually physical, and that was the end of the game. There was nothing else that the Reshurams can do. Their Entei, their Weavile, their biggest threats could not deal with this Venusaur. So with that, you're probably wondering what the top play is, and so I'm here to tell you that not the top play, but the top Pokemon, the top MVP. And the Pokemon that we selected this week is none other than Yanmega, which is on the Mauville Mighty Hyenas. They went up against the Arizona Carvanas this week, and while the Yanmega only got 2 kills, you really need to watch this replay in order to get a sense for how amazing this was. With a 3-2 advantage, they're staring down a Scolipede with their Terrakion, and the Scolipede goes for a Swords Dance, starts collecting speed boosts. This Nidoqueen that comes in gets knocked out by a Poison Jab. Now it's at +3 speed. The Yanmega comes in, and it goes for an Air Slash as the Scolipede baton passes. The Yanmega misses the Air Slash, so I'm sure that the Mighty Hyenas were thinking at this point, well crap, what are we supposed to do? But little did we know that this is actually a defensive Yanmega. It tanks a +2 Ice Punch from a Lucario and goes for a Whirlwind. And the Scolipede comes back in. The Carvanha switch back into their Lucario as the Yanmega goes for a Roost. And now it's back at almost a full HP, goes for another Air Slash and misses again. This is unbelievable. 2 Air Slash misses, a 95% accurate move. But what's even more remarkable is that this Yanmega just took like 35% from that Ice Punch. So the whole time this Yanmega is also collecting speed boosts, so now it can outspeed the Lucario, which seems to be lacking extreme speed. Otherwise, there might have been a few opportunities where they could get in that critical damage on a weakened Yanmega. The Yanmega does eventually go for the Air Slash on that Lucario. It is at +6 speed, and the Scolipede really has no chance of starting a comeback. And yeah, just this really heroic effort and this really awesome set was able to secure the victory. If that had been the typical sort of offensive set, either Life Orb or something like Choice Specs with Tinted Lens, it obviously would have been game over at that point. But this really crazy defensive Yanmega with Whirlwind, Roost, was really able to come through. So it was just so cool how much this set changed the tide of the battle that I wanted to highlight it as the MVP. So that is going to do it for me. Striker Flash and I will be back next week. Thanks for bearing with me for a slightly longer video than normal, almost 7 minutes, but hey, there's a lot of good Pokemon to talk about this week. This was easily the most difficult week in terms of choosing a Pokemon most worthy. I do want to recommend that you guys sub to the CPC channel to get more analyst videos like this one, and of course, make sure you sub to all of our coaches to stay up to date on all the games. Once again, I'm Destroyer CJ. I'm going to sign on out of here, so until the next time, I'll catch you guys later.